I need to hire a replacement. I obviously have
I'm not on.
Jeff said he's.
Huh?
Who's doing
Is Jeff on it? I'm not showing it, I don't.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm not showing.
What's that? This leaves. Where is it showing up?
Start a meeting.
Whoops, tour. Hover over your,
Go to start.
No, I was doing. Yeah, I'm getting this music.
Shar? So what did you do to help out with that?
I sent a couple of my employees back
Okay.
there, so.
Clean the house or what?
All of their deputy clerks walked out except for one,
Oh,
and
that's right.
the circuit clerk retired, and they told him not to come back, so there was one person in the whole office. So McDonough County, Hancock County, or McDonough County, Knox County, and Henderson County sent employees there for 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks, I sent a couple employees there. Not all week long, but, so, when she had a criminal going on, I had a criminal clerk go to help her out. And then Maureen is my e-filing guru, and they hired a new girl. And the one clerk that stayed is not a civil clerk, so she knows nothing about e-filing, so, I had Maureen go down there and train her new girl on how to do e-filing.
Good. Nice job.
Hancock County? Yeah.
You have to put your
She
email
was
address.
just appointed last month, the one clerk that stayed, she was appointed as circuit clerk down there. So, no, the circuit clerk, I don't.
You have your email.
I don't know that.
Right, don't have your
Yeah.
email.
I just know that he retired and come back into the office. So she was the only one there, just one clerk.
Pull up there where it first
So
started.
she was there for almost a
Little pile of gravel.
3 weeks before she was even appointed as circuit clerk, so she couldn't authorize anything, she couldn't hire anybody, she couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
She needed help, yeah,
Yeah.
and then she finally got one clerk, so then now she has.
All right.
Password, appreciate it.
Oh, we're good. We got it.
Okay, that's it.
Laura's trying to call in.
Yeah, we just got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, call the boards, for, June 14th meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Arnett.
Here.
Beck.
Here.
Barry.
Here.
Bowler.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Duchesne.
Here.
Duquesne. Duquesne.
Duquesne is here.
Thank you.
Hoke. Hoke. Hudson. Donna, you on there? Kessel.
Here.
Coomer.
Here.
Madsen.
Present.
McCollum. McCollum. Meadus.
Here.
Platt.
Here.
Spangler.
Here.
Taylor. Thompson.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Wilner.
Here.
Quorum present.
Okay.
Still looking for Hoke, Hudson, and McCollum.
Okay, join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join Reverend Shane Smith. Want to do the invocation, please?
Let us pray. Well, God, you are great and greatly to be praised. We ask that you would instill within us tonight the fitting amount of thanksgiving and the sense of responsibility and love. For we live in a beautiful county that has natural beauty and resources, many wonderful people, and so much for which to give thanks. Give us all that we need so that we may do work that is for the common good, and that work tonight of this county board would be blessed for the good of all who live here in this wonderful county. In the name of Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. See if Donna.
Donna, are you on?
Do we have Hoke, Hudson, or McCollum on the call?
Okay, moving on. Acceptance of the minutes of regular session, May 10th, 2022.
I make a motion.
Motion by Barry, second by Bowler. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Meadus.
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Spangler.
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilner.
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Beck.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Bowler.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Duchesne.
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
Kessel.
Yes.
Coomer.
Yes.
Madsen.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Additions or deletions to the agenda for approval. Under consent, finance and insurance number 7B, the resolution reads $294, and it's been changed to, it was a error,
Scribner.
so it should be $249.
Excuse me.
Huh?
294.
The resolution is correct.
Oh, the resolution's correct and the agenda's wrong, okay. I'm backwards now.
Just a little scrivener.
Okay. So we're good. Anything else?
Finance, number 2, pull that.
Number 2 under action
Yes.
for finance. Hold that. Anybody else? Under announcements, communications, I'll add E for Cannon Wheels. I have all information on them. Okay, under liquor, the liquor license for Lake Bar and Grill, we'll pull that one. We didn't get anything from them. Tried to contact them to get any information, so we don't know if they're closed or what happened. But okay, anybody got anything else? Any motion to approve? Motion by Mattson, Smith, Thompson. Roll call.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler.
Yeah.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner.
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
and Meadus.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thanks. Okay, announcements, communications, correspondence. I have a letter here from Hancock County Board. It was dated May 17th, 2022. It says, fellow county board, in the past few weeks, Hancock County has experienced what good neighbors truly look like. We have seen your circuit clerk and their staff step in and offer a hand when Hancock needed it most. The Hancock board and employees would like to extend their sincere gratitude to your county and valued employees. We hope that you know how appreciative we are for your generosity. So, sorry, you want
You want
to
to
explain
speak?
it a little bit?
No, I don't really want to speak.
Too bad.
It came down to the circuit clerk retired, all the deputies, left except for one. That's what I was informed of. And they had one deputy clerk, in the office trying to run the office, with no circuit clerk. So, Henderson County circuit clerk was down there and some of her girls. Knox County circuit clerk was there. McDonough County circuit clerk and one of her retired, her retired chief deputy, and then a couple of her people went, and then I sent my criminal supervisor and my civil supervisor to kind of help them out, because she had nobody but herself. So that was basically all it was.
Good job.
All right, Joyce Blumenshine, proposed navigation CO2 ventures. Would you like to come up and speak, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and I stand here. Is that
Come up here in front. We have a mic here for you if you would,
Thank you.
please.
Appreciate it.
That way everybody can turn here.
Thank you very much. Is that?
Yep.
I think that's on. Great, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joyce Blumenshine. I'm a founder, member, volunteer, secretary of the board with Central Illinois Healthy Community Alliance. We are centered in Peoria, but we are concerned about environmental health for all of our Central Illinois area. And I'm here tonight to talk to you briefly about some concerns on the proposed upcoming high-pressure liquefied carbon dioxide pipeline. I think most people know, and it's in your handout and on the screen, thank you, Mr. Chairman, that there's an extensive network of CO2 pipelines coming our way. Next slide, please. Thank you. And this pipeline in Illinois will affect 13 counties. This is new for Illinois. We have never, ever had a CO2 pipeline of this length or impact. There's a shorter area CO2 pipelines at the ADM in Decatur area, but nothing to compare with this plan. Next slide, please. Thank you. So for Fulton County, there's some really major considerations. You can see it's very close to London Mills, and certainly Ellisville will be of concern. But I'm here tonight to talk about our farmland, our farm and rural residents, and what it means to emergency responders and our volunteer fire departments, because these issues must be considered and need to be discussed ahead of time. Next slide, please. So there are multiple impacts from CO2 pipelines, and they include agriculture land impacts, and they can disrupt timber and quality habitat. For ag land impacts, it's clear from Iowa from pipelines that mixing of topsoil with other layers of soil happens, so the topsoil is not replaced correctly. There are concerns for erosion, compaction of the soil, disruption of tiling systems that don't function the same after being disturbed, and then also for quality habitat or timber hunting areas. These pipeline corridors are an introduction of many sometimes invasive species and can reduce the quality. So these are issues. I attended several of the meeting sessions of Navigator in January, and they said they would pay for crop loss for 3 years, but after that, the farmers would have to take their own action, and the 3 years payments are on a reducing scale. Next slide, please. So in Iowa, where these pipelines are farther along, one of the concerned citizens got a letter from their insurance agent, and I am going to mail you all more details as a thank you later, that it was said in their information from their insurance that definitely these pipelines propose a significant personal liability and exposure for property owners. Their insurance does not cover it, and it is proven by history that any pipeline can have a chance to fail or leak or seep. Next slide, please. So a major concern is also life, safety, health concerns of CO2 pipelines. CO2 pipelines are liquefied and pressurized at 3 times the rate of a natural gas or methane pipeline. So this content of this pipeline is under great pressure. And if they rupture or leak, there's a cloud of CO2. CO2 is heavier than air. It will sink in a lowland area. It can collect there. And CO2 has clearly harmful immediate health impacts. CO2 is part of our whole life system, but in percentages such as 2% of CO2 or 20,000 parts per million is rapid breathing. 4% or 40,000 parts per million means immediate danger to life, sweating, tremors, respiratory acidosis, confusion, and at 5 or 10%, it can lead to unconsciousness. More than 10% of the total air that's CO2, it could mean death. And in Mississippi in 2020, there was a CO2 pipeline rupture. A mile away, a small community had to be evacuated. 300 people in the area were evacuated. 45 people were taken to emergency rooms, including some first responders that were nearly overcome. Concerns for emergency first responders include they need more oxygen supplies. They might need an oxygen bottle refilling unit. They might need an electric vehicle because your gasoline-powered car or your diesel truck could stall or even stop if there's not enough oxygen for it to run. These things then need to be considered, as well as impacts on livestock. Livestock in a low area, how is a herd of cows or a barn full of chickens going to be moved? Big questions for CO2. Next slide, please, sir. Thank you. No problem. So I wanted to let you know that recently in May, Christian County, which is at the end of the pipeline, voted a 6-month moratorium on CO2 pipeline. It's the sequestration there because they are at the end of the pipeline. And we are hoping that counties such as Fulton will look more closely at this issue and consider action that you as a county might want to take in the interest of your citizens and the county first responders. Federal oversight right now is really limited. We have the Illinois Commerce Commission in Illinois that does the state regulations. They are really in favor of business, and it's not anything that's really friendly to our health and safety concerns. Just recently, the federal government announced, based on those concerns from Mississippi, where there was a rupture, they're going to start reviewing the minimal, almost non-existent federal regulations. These are hazardous pipelines, but this will take months and months. So Fulton County, I appreciate, Mr. Chairman, your time tonight with the county board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and I appreciate being here. And I'm sure there'll be more comments in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Give me that.
No, but they're all good. They're good.
I wonder why mine didn't. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, there's a thank you letter going around. I'd like for y'all to sign for Hitchcock Scrapyard. They repainted the gun and the cannon ports out front and didn't charge us anything for it. Sandblasted and painted it. So, I want to send a thank you letter to them. Appreciate for that. Okay, Ella Rennick is doing an Eagle Scout project, the garden project at Clayburg to earn an Eagle Scout. So, let's get on that. Anything else? Okay. So I guess she's looking for donations for that, if anybody would care to donate to that. Laura, do you have any other information on that?
Sure. As you said, Roger, she's doing her Eagle Scout project by improving the landscaping and outdoor area at the Clayburg. She has spent, already had a work day there with a lot of volunteers, and they planted flowers and did a lot of work there, and they've installed some benches this week. And as you said, she went ahead and did all of that, but she's still fundraising to try to cover the expense that she had in doing it. So any donations anyone would be interested in making to her would be appreciated.
Okay. So how do they get the donations to her?
Feel free, it's okay with Cindy. If you want to give them to Cindy or the county board office, I can get them from Cindy, or we could probably mail them to her house, but I don't have her address right off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That, okay. Earl Allen, U of I. Earl?
Thank you, Roger. Well, good evening to everybody in the room, and good evening to those on attending via phone or computer. I'm Earl Allen, the County Extension Director with University of Illinois Extension, and oversee Fulton, Mason, Peoria, and Tazewell counties, for those of you that don't remember that. I appreciate you giving me some time on the agenda. I usually try and come in March or April, and I delayed it a little bit this year. Been hiring a lot of people. We've had a lot of retirements the last 2 years. I'm basically going to spend
about 5 minutes telling you about some of the changes in personnel that we had. A couple months ago, we sent out our annual report, and I think we delivered them in your packets, maybe in the April meeting, might have been the March meeting. And on the last page of that, and you can access this online too if you don't still have it at home, but we always put our staff pages. And we had the last 2 years of COVID, we've kind of been having a wave of retirements the last 4 or 5 years, about 3 or 4 a year maybe. We've got about 35 staff total. And in 2020, when we first shut down for COVID, we had 3 people that decided just to retire. They didn't really plan on it. They just didn't like dealing with all that, and they were in a position that they could. And the university froze on the positions, so we couldn't fill positions. Then in 2021, U of I offered an early retirement incentive. And then we had a wave of 7 people that decided to take advantage of that. And so that was a total of 10 positions. And then we were able to start filling some of them in 2021. And but I've hired 6 people in, and I still got 4 more positions to fill. 1 will be starting here in July. But the look in the Fulton office has kind of changed. We've had 3 new staff and 3 that have kind of moved out. And then some other key staff across the unit that work in Fulton County. All our unit-wide staff work in all the counties. But you'll probably recognize some of the names. But the first one, I'm just going to key in on the ones that impact Fulton County the most. But Janice Blout was our 4-H coordinator in Fulton County. She'd been in the extension service for 40 years, and she retired last August, September timeframe. We ended up replacing her with Krista Gray, who was one of our SNAP instructors in Fulton County, and she's doing a great job, and she's really getting the taste of it right now with this being her first fair that she's and 4-H shows that she's running on her own. But she's doing a good job and working really hard. And you got a lot to learn in 4-H too when you take over. So not only doing all the work, but then that learning curve makes it tough too. But she's going to be great for us. In all these positions I've been filling, a lot of places have had difficulty hiring good people, but I've been real fortunate and grateful that I've been getting really good people in. Krista leaving left a hole in our SNAP Ed instructors, and we hired Lexi Hampton, who graduated from Lewiston High School about 4 years ago. And so she has launched her SNAP Ed instructor career, and she's doing a great job. And so she's another new face in the Fulton office. Another position in 2020, our master gardener coordinator, Ian Goslin, had retired. And he actually was kind of housed in the Havana office and was from over by Dunlap. And we ended up hiring Tara Heath for that position. And she came from Macomb and worked for Western Illinois University and was actually the superintendent of grounds over there and had horticulture experience. And it was really great attracting her over here. She'd been there for 20 years and was ready for a change. And she's been doing a great job, and she's in the Lewiston office as well. So those are our 3 new faces in the Lewiston office. Another person that retired that was key to a lot of the things going on in Fulton County was Kathy Brown, our community and economic development educator, and she'd been with Extension for 41 years. And so that's another huge hole to fill. And I've just been blessed with so many good staff that had long careers that they leave big holes, but I'm getting good people in. And that position, we just filled it. The person is going through a background check, so I can't announce the name yet, but he's going to start in July 16th is what the plan is for that. So that's going to be a great position. He's got 15 years experience with University of Missouri, has lived in this area in the Peoria, kind of Peoria-Canton area at one point in his career and was looking for a move back. So those are great positions. We also had a 4-H coordinator in Peoria retired, filled that position. Our fiscal secretary retired, so I shuffled some secretaries around, and then we'll be refilling that position at some point. And then have another EPC coordinator position to fill, and then a nutrition educator. But you may be seeing new faces, but we're still gearing up and doing really good work. And we've come out of COVID and getting back face to face is great. And we did a lot of virtual things the last 2 years, but we're getting back to that relationship building and working with people directly. So we're excited about that. So that's all I have to share tonight, and we appreciate your support.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, Phil?
Yeah, any questions?
Thanks, Earl.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, E, the cannon wheels, I had a call from the guy down at Arcola that's doing them. I was hoping to have them back by Memorial Day weekend. It didn't happen. He called me this morning and said that he'd gotten the wood and stuff for the wheels from his supplier. He told me he'd probably have them done in a week or two. So hopefully we'll get back for you all. All right, proclamations, the Fulton County Disaster Proclamation, extend that for another month. Does anybody want that read?
Motion to approve.
Thompson, second by Bowler. Roll call.
You want me to read it?
No.
All right, Spangler.
Yeah.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Nedis,
Yes.
and Platt.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Public remarks, we have one. Carla Personnel. Up to the front, please.
There you are.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to kind of follow up on what Joyce was saying, and I'm coming at it from a little bit different perspective. My name is Carla
You probably
Presnell.
need to hold that a little closer. I'm not hearing you too.
Is it on?
Excuse me?
Is it turned on?
No.
Okay,
How about now?
there you go.
Yes. Okay. I'm here to kind of offer a different perspective from what Joyce presented and something maybe a lot of us don't think about here in Fulton County. As I said, my name is Carla Presnell. I'm a lifelong resident of Fulton County, and I'm here tonight to explain some of my concerns regarding this Navigator carbon dioxide pipeline. Fulton County is being marketed as the outdoor recreational capital of Illinois. This has been a big push to increase awareness of all the things that our county has to offer. And I have to ask why anyone would be in support of this pipeline if they realize the potential of the project to jeopardize our quality of life, our outdoor activities, our agriculture, and even the lives of our citizens. Let me start by giving you a couple of examples that could open your eyes to potential dangers in our county. During the 1990s in the Mammoth Lake area, carbon dioxide seeped into the soil from a nearby magma chamber. This was recognized when 170 acres of trees died over a very short period of time. Every plant in that area died. Imagine a pipeline leak causing the death of an entire field of crops, loss of a wooded area, or a recreational area in our county. In 1986, carbon dioxide seeped into Lake Nyos in Cameroon, again from a magma chamber, and went into solution in the water. Much like producing lots of bubbles from a pop bottle that's been shaken, the gas is easily disturbed when it's in solution. In Lake Nyos, scientists think that the gas was released from the lake by seasonal lake overturn. The same thing that happens right here every spring and fall in every lake and pond in our area. The lakes literally turn over and mix materials. Now with Lake Nyos, the gas flowed out of the lake, and because it's odorless, colorless, and denser than air, it stayed low to the ground, and no one knew it was coming. This happened during the night. It flowed into local villages and suffocated 1,746 people and over 3,500 head of livestock. Again, imagine the impact of a pipeline leak seeping into one of our lakes or ponds and releasing this danger during a normal spring or fall overturn. How many people could be injured? How many could die? How much livestock could be lost? Now, I understand these examples that I'm giving you are related to volcanic activity, and we don't have volcanoes in Illinois. But we do have seismic activity, and that seismic activity could trigger leaks, breaks, and seeps in the pipeline. People don't always think about earthquakes in Illinois. I myself have experienced 3 right here in Fulton County during my lifetime. The first was November 1968 while watching Saturday morning cartoons. That one was a magnitude 5.4 and resulted in the discovery of a previously unknown fault in Illinois. The second was in June of 1987, a magnitude 5.0. And the third woke me early in the morning of April 2008. Some of you might remember that one. That was also a magnitude 5.4 and was located on the Wabash Fault in southern Illinois. In checking the website Volcano Discovery, I found that Illinois has experienced 10 quakes in the last 30 days, with the maximum so far of a magnitude up to 2.5. So my fear is that a leak or a break in this pipeline from seismic activity could result in environmental damage to croplands, forests, recreational areas, Spoon River, as it looks like the pipeline is along or under that, local ponds and lakes. Even worse, I fear death and injury to our citizens. And let us not forget that we will be impacted by seismic activity on the New Madrid Fault and potentially even more dangerous, the Wabash Fault in southern Illinois. We will feel the effects here in Fulton County. In fact, I found a scientific research paper which stated that scientists suggest that there is a very dangerous likelihood of an earthquake located on the Wabash at some point within the next 50 years. Stephen Obermeyer of the USGS found evidence of past earthquakes on the Wabash of at least a magnitude of 7. In fact, some seismologists feel that the 1811, 1812 New Madrid earthquakes were not on the New Madrid Fault, they were actually on the Wabash. So that's closer to us. Illinois has been promoting earthquake awareness by participating in the Great American Shakeout and developing earthquake preparedness programs. Why would we agree to put our county at risk by running a carbon dioxide pipeline through an area that in the past, and will again at some point, experience a strong earthquake that could have the potential to cause damage to this pipeline and release carbon dioxide? The release could potentially cause more damage than the quake itself. It is for these reasons that I oppose this project, and I implore the members of the board to look at all of these risks, consider what I've said tonight, and choose the safety of our environment and population over allowing this pipeline to run under our ground and through our fine county. Thank you for allowing me to express my opinions here tonight, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. A motion to approve it. Motion by Bowles, second by Beck.
Bowler and Beck.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Meadus,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Spangler.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the action agenda. Treasurer's report.
Good evening, everyone. To start off, in your financials that I sent you was the settlement sheet for the first distribution we did the end of May. So of the 51.9 million and change that's due to be collected this year for taxes, our first distribution, 10.3 million and change went out the door to the taxing districts. First installment due date was 6/3. Next distribution will be the end of the month. Any questions, anything tax related? Okay, moving right along. For County Gen, and again, this is just County Gen that we spotlight every month, the revenue total was $2,118,122.27. Expenses totaled $893,441.41. That provided a surplus of a little over 1.2 million, and we have a current surplus of 2.1 million and change. Any questions on County General? None? Okay. Any questions on any of the other funds? Moving right along, folks. Okay, last is ARPA. Our second tranche was received at the end of last week. So what the government was giving to the county for ARPA funds have all been received. I will be working on taking the cash flows based on the projects that you appropriated money for, looking at timeline of expenditures, and going to be moving that money in different governmental pools to try to get a better rate of return. That's all I have. Any questions? Thoughts, comments? Board Member Thompson?
It's a small question. On your general fund summary sheet, you've got this prior year void. What's that?
Okay, so we did a cleanup. The clerk and the treasurer's office worked together on outstanding checks. So we write people checks. My favorite is when somebody gets a check for 58 cents and they don't cash it. Anyways, sorry, I digress. So, there were, sorry, that was a bit aggressive. So, there were accounts payable checks that checks haven't been cashed. There were payroll liability checks that checks haven't cashed, and also some other accounts that we have. So we did a big cleanup, called people, found out, did a bunch of voids and reissues for checks that were not cashed. Some of them were old enough when we converted into the old software, the way the data came through. When we did that and we worked with a software company, it processed incorrectly. So instead of hitting the expenditure line items that it needed to, it hit some expenditures, it hit some fund balances. So CIC is working on itemizing out every single one of them. They've got to go through and fix. So we've got it to the point where it's just that $3,693.18 that still needs to be fixed. So it will be, I had to take a pause on that project because all things tax related and everything else, but I will circle back and we will make sure that's all cleaned up. I just want to make sure I'm still reporting that, because when you look at that ending balance in the account, but you look at what we actually have in the bank account on that county gen fund over here on the right side, I know you're looking at what I'm looking at. Those are those differences. So I'm to the penny of a person just because I'm weird. So I'm going to report to the penny where I see any kind of discrepancy. So thank you for noticing and for asking. Anything else?
No, that answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Daisy. All right, health, Laura.
Sure. No COVID at the Clayburg right now, thankfully. Last I was aware, we are up to 42 residents, which is, I think, the highest we've been all during COVID. We just hired 3 CNAs and are only short 3 positions, so the pay increases we've been put in place have definitely helped. As far as the health department, they are continuing clinics to long-term care facilities. I'm waiting on approval for the vaccine for 6 months to 5-year-olds, and they put a pre-order in for that vaccine once it gets approved. And I think that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Okay, anybody have questions for her? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
County Highway, yes.
Well, the crews are out working on ditches, cleaning ditches.
mowing along the edge of the road, and be soon working on some culvert replacements. And that's about all that's going on now is general maintenance work, and we're trying to keep cool and give them plenty of fresh water.
Okay, any questions for Nestor? All right, thanks. Okay, public safety and campground. All right. Sure.
Okay, public safety and campground discussion action, seasonal part-time employee campground. I'd like to make a motion to approve that. Do I have a second?
Second by Bowler. Any discussion?
We discussed this and approved it in the meeting. He's gonna $13.50 an hour, and just mainly during the summer. And the young man's name is Nick Simpkins. We approved a motion pending the state's attorney's approval, and in the future, the position to be posted to the public. But I have questions in regarding that. But this person's name was in the file application, but seems like a very nice person. And the funds are in his budget, so I don't know if anyone has any questions.
All right. Anybody got any questions? Call roll.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
What'd you say? Kessel.
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Needus,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Frank. Okay, property and courts. Cindy.
We really don't have a whole lot, except, our budget's pretty well done. We're waiting on bids to come back in. The bids that we had, that were out before were older bids, and we had to renew them. On the courthouse renovations and repairs. So that's really all we had. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions? Okay, thanks, Cindy. All right, personnel legislation. Lisa.
Nothing for action tonight.
You're just amazing sometimes. All right, any questions for Lisa? All right, thank you. Finance insurance, John.
All right, just have one thing tonight. Our treasurer has requested using some ARPA funds to purchase a new cash counter for her office. So I will move that we use ARPA funds to purchase that. After we pass that, then we'll discuss it more.
Second by
Or after
Arnett.
we move the motion.
Any, did you need to read it? I don't think you have to read that, do you?
Do I have one?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
The cost for this is, for the machine and a 3-year service agreement, is $5,610. I guess I was a little naive in realizing how much actual cash comes through the treasurer's office. and the need for an efficient way to count it, as well as this machine checks to make sure that there's nothing counterfeit. So
Yes.
Nestor's going to quit paying in cash.
Anybody got any
Questions?
questions? All right, call the roll.
All righty. Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
No.
no. Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
McCollum. Sorry, he's not here. Metis,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
and Wade.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Didn't mark him off. That's all.
Okay, thanks, John. Community development, goals.
Nothing for board action.
Anybody have any questions for those? Okay. Liquor, discussion action for approval of Class A, B, and C liquor licenses. Should be in your packet. Huh? Okay, motion by Beck.
Make sure it's a motion to approve all, but
Okay. This is a motion to approve all the liquor licenses.
except the one you
Except,
said.
yeah, except the one that we didn't put on there. We wanted it. Now, Lake Farm Grill, they didn't send us anything, so I don't know if they're open or closed or not. We couldn't get hold of them. So they don't get one. So at the end of the month, if they're open, they're illegal. Send the sheriff down. So I have a second. Second by Coomer. Any discussion? Call roll.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Metis,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
and Wilner. Wilner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. No executive session. Miscellaneous, discussion action approval of election judges for 2022-24 term. You have that?
This is something that we have to do statutorily every 2 years with help from the two established parties, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. Those election judges have been certified by the chairman of each party, and they will go before the board right now, and then we have to put them before a circuit judge. So let's pass this.
And you're gonna have training next Monday. Okay. Do I have a motion?
Any
to
questions?
approve this? Motion by Barry.
Barry?
Yep.
Barry
Second by
Becker?
Coomer. Yeah, Dan.
Okay. Any questions?
Any questions? Call the roll. Oh, wait a minute.
I
Coomer?
just had one for Patrick real quick. Did you have to combine any districts or voting polling places this year due to lack of judges and stuff, Patrick?
No, I can't do that. You guys have to do that. But I'll be presenting a plan to you probably in July of 2023 to do just that. I can't do that on my
I know
own.
we've discussed it.
You guys got to do that. So I got a plan. I just didn't want to do it in a gubernatorial election. So 2023 will be the year.
For everybody's knowledge.
Good
I won't
question.
be here for that. Okay, anybody else? Call the roll.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
Kessel.
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Metis,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
and Arnett.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Discussion action for acceptance of recommendation from JHIC of American Central Insurance for the broker record. So for a 3-year term. You want to explain that, or you want me to get a motion first?
You can get a motion first.
Okay. Can somebody make a motion? Motion by Spangler and Mattson.
So you guys approved an RFP for a 3-year broker of record for health insurance, similar to what we do for liability insurance. This was completed by the Joint Advisory Health Insurance Committee. Representatives of labor and management were both involved. The RFP netted 8 responses, which was pretty amazing. When we opened them, we whittled it down to a final 4 and did the final interviews. And the board voted to the committee, voted to recommend American Central Insurance for a 3-year term as our broker of record for health insurance. This will be effective August 1st. Just so happens that American Central Insurance is our current broker now, so there won't be much change there. There were members of the committee that felt like the American Central did a good job. There were some that wanted to see new faces, but in the end, the committee came to a consensus and are recommending that you approve this. We will bring you back, I don't want to call it a contract or resolution, some agreement by August 1st that the boss man here will sign along with American Central Insurance on terms that you guys agree with.
Okay.
Any questions on the process or the?
All right. Call roll.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Kessel, Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Metis,
Yes.
Black,
No.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
and Beck.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Anybody else got anything?
I just wanted to make a comment, Roger, on the liquor license that we just approved. Past history with the Lake Bar and Grill. The last 3 times that they renewed, we've had problems with them being late or been under new management or something. Where we had questions in the past, whether or not they're owned or privately owned or whatever. I would seriously take it in consideration if they should come forward with paperwork to, if we're gonna approve a license for them, that we consider that very seriously.
I mean, as long as they bring us everything they're supposed to, the insurance and all that stuff, and the money. But
It seems like the last 2 times, under Chairman Booker, they were late and there was a big screw up on the paperwork then that they didn't understand, and it seemed like this time we got no response out of them. So,
Yeah. Well, end of the month, they don't have a license anymore now.
Do they pay a late fee anytime after that?
They'll file for a new fee.
We get a
Okay,
motion?
any motion to adjourn? Bowler? Arnett? Roll call.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Vetus,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
and Barry.
Yes.
You're
All right,
adjourned.
thank you, everybody. Be careful going home.
It's just taking about 4 hours to get there, because, yeah. Slow.